All right, guys, I'm okay. Talkback, www.talkbackworld.net. I'm actually doing this video because very important moment, very important day. You know, um, I've actually seen it. First of all, I like to say something, okay? I like to give the utmost respect to Warner Brothers and whoever the hell these guys have taking down links, okay? These guys are doing overtime work, okay? So I'd like to give a round of applause to all the Warner Brothers link takedown guys because do you know how hard it has been to locate a link that actually works for Dark Knight Rises? You know, guys are actually hiding links, they're going on calling the thing different names and everything. These guys are actually managing to find it. That means that these guys are actually posing as fans on fan sites and finding out what these links are and actually getting over there. Guys, I've got to give you guys respect. I mean, that's tough. Because seriously, every site I've gone to, these things have been dead. You know, because like I'm on a different time zone. So guys on a later time zone like East Coast and like UK and all that sort of stuff, they actually got to these links first. So by the time I woke up in the morning, these links were already dead. Anyway, that being said, I wouldn't be doing this video if I hadn't seen it. Okay? So they tried to foil me. They didn't foil me. I actually saw this teaser trailer. So I wanted to give a quick reaction to Dark Knight Rises. Look, first off, the first thing I saw, okay, that poster came out. That poster is pretty serious. Okay, I'll say it right now. It's actually, in some ways, maybe it's not better, but it's when you remember the poster. Actually, that was the main poster. The poster with the Batman and the flaming bat symbol on the buildings. That was actually the main one. But they had some teasers that came out for Dark Knight that were also pretty serious. But I'd say this is probably, out of all the teaser posters, this bat sign in the buildings thing is probably the toughest one. Okay, I'm going to put that out there. That being said, man, this teaser... Okay, look, there's two things you got to look at, okay? When we saw Dark Knight, it was Joker. And like Joker is obviously the main guy, okay, as far as villains go, as far as anticipation of what this villain is going to be like. So the possibility of actually seeing what they call it, the Joker for the first time, was actually quite a big deal. So there was already a lot of anticipation, and I remember that because the teaser for Dark Knight, all it had was the audio of of Heath Ledger's rendition, and you could hear his voice, and like that got a lot of people thinking about, man, what is this guy going to be like? You didn't see any footage, there was no visuals, nothing. Okay, this is a little bit different because now you actually get some footage. And okay, look, guys, spoiler alert. Okay, so if you don't want to know anything about the teaser before you see it, just stop watching now. Okay. So obviously now you see in the beginning of this teaser, okay, this is a description. At the beginning of this teaser, you get like clips of Batman Begins, mountaintops and everything, Ducard talking, okay, you know what I'm saying? You've got to be more a legend, Mr. With blah, 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 blah. Then you got clips of Dark Knight, at the ending, with the Batpod and everything where he went into exile, essentially. You know what I'm saying? And with the voiceover, what you're getting is obviously the build up to Dark Knight Rises, because obviously, clearly the idea is that Batman has gone underground, okay? And again, spoiler, okay, if you guys don't know, the introduction of Bane is only there to do one thing, to break Batman's back, okay? That's what he's involved in. That's what Bane is remembered for. That's what he did. And in the comics, at the point that Bane took Batman out of commission, then you had some other guy, I think it was some French guy or whatever, who took over for Batman. Plus, at the same time, you had Robin's role in the whole thing, because in Nolan's universe, Robin hasn't actually featured. But in the comics, obviously because Robin was involved, at the point that Batman got taken out of action, then Robin's storyline sort of reignited in the comics because obviously people who was going to fill the void that Batman was leaving and blah, 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 blah. Obviously that doesn't exist in Chris Nolan's Batman universe. That being said, that's probably the reason why he's culminating this whole story with the Bane thing and this Catwoman thing and everything. Because I think, I don't want to spoil the movie for myself, okay? So I haven't tried to find out details because I want to go in there fresh, watch the movie. I don't want to know what he's doing. But obviously you can extrapolate that probably what the situation is that Gotham is going through a lot of turmoil without Batman. Things are getting crazy. And all of these other bad guys have started popping out, taking up the slack because there's no Batman involved, okay? Batman probably come back, and then he's got to face off against Bane at some point, which in the teaser, you get a little clip of it, because you see Bane from the back, and you see Batman squaring off to him. So obviously that's probably the fight where that incident happens. And, I've got to give thumbs up to the way Bane has been portrayed. Because you remember Bane in Batman and Robin, who basically was an inflatable blow-up doll, who they popped him, and then his muscles were basically balloons, and then he shrunk. Okay, that's not what this is here. Tom Hardy has obviously done a lot of work. I mean, if you watch Bronson, it wouldn't be so surprising to see him so big and muscular and everything. Because in Bronson, he already did that. And he even slimmed down a little bit in Inception, even though he still looked quite big. So obviously, he's gone back to his Bronson level physique and even beyond that. So when you even see him from the back and everything, you can sort of tell that this guy's really pumped up. The mask is done well and all this sort of stuff. So, I mean, look, Bane looks the way that you would have thought he should look in the thing. Just from the teaser, you can get that, okay? Overall thoughts, I don't know. Like, look, I'm already a Nolan guy, so it doesn't matter. I'm there. I've already bought my ticket. I'm in the cinema, okay? It's got nothing to... Like, that's not even in dispute, okay? Second point is that the movie's going to be good. So, like, that's not the issue. As far as the Batman thing is concerned, I think now that I'm watching this, that reiterating what Have Hope has said and everything before, this is a particular kind of Batman trilogy. This is a particular kind of Batman movie. And it's not essentially what the comics were. It's a very realistic depiction or take on the thing. So when I'm watching this teaser, it really is like the ending and conclusion of a particular franchise or a particular story arc that Chris Nolan has done. And from watching this, I don't see any reason why you couldn't actually go in different directions with Batman following the end of this movie. Because I'm looking at it and it looks like it is going to be the end, And the whole hospital bed scene and what Christian... listen, the footage I saw was so messed up, okay? I mean, I was seeing it was like camcorder messed up footage. So I don't know whether what I'm saying is actually accurate to what is actually in the teaser. But I'm assuming it's Christian Bale, after the incident where he's injured and is, in the hospital recuperating and everything, and he's talking about trying to come back as Batman because Batman has to come back and everything. And I think why I like the approach that Chris Nolan actually takes to these films is that who would put that as the linchpin of a superhero comic book movie teaser? Most people will put a lot of crazy action and crazy things, quick cuts in like a 20, 30 second teaser, just to get people. He isn't doing that because if you're going to put this in your teaser, it means that the movie is actually a movie. It's like, no, you're selling the fact that it's actually a film with acting and performances and a storyline. That's what I took from this thing. That's the reason why I think it's going to be quite interesting, and that's the reason why I feel it really is a conclusion to everything. Because I know what the teaser was like for Dark Knight, and if you remember the Batman Begins teaser, I think that was the best teaser of all of them. When he said, there's something more to fear, and then he said whatever, and then he says, what is it? And then he says me at the end, and then you see, and it zooms in on Batman's face. You know what I'm saying? That teaser was probably the best teaser, but that was a conventional thing. You got action, you got Tumblr, you got all of that sort of stuff, you got Batman's visuals and all that sort of thing. That was a conventional teaser. I think because this franchise has built up such a following, has done so well, I think, and also after Inception and everything, the fact that Nolan knows that he can bring out a in-depth psychological... Inception wasn't my thing. I mean, I thought it was too complicated and it was like a mathematical problem on screen, but it was like a big budget art house movie. You've got to give credit where credit is due. That being said, I think that's given a lot of confidence to how they're approaching Dark Knight Rises. And I was looking at the budget, $250 million for a Batman movie. Jeez. 250, you might as well make everything CGI. You might as well make Batman CGI. Because, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. So, I thought the teaser was good. I don't know what to expect from as far as, the whole aura of the visuals and the action and stuff, because I think that was what was always lacking from the other films for me, was sort of the action choreography and the depiction of Batman himself and the importance of Batman himself, the darkness, the fear. But I feel that this might hopefully address those gripes that myself as a Batman fan and some other Batman fans actually had. All right, guys, that's all I got to say. Remember, new website for Talkback. If you're a real fan, you want to get involved. www.talkbackworld.net. Uh, Log on, sign in, real fans only. Thank you, Bear Spielberg.